We're going to talk about postpartum because this is a real thing that many men are not prepared for when starting a family. And I think this video would really help you to have a reassurance of understanding. See, when I was told that kids changes things, it's truly an understatement because it really does, actually. And what a woman goes through this process of postpartum is something that we don't necessarily are prepared for. And every individual woman is different on how they deal with this. See, postpartum can actually last up to 3 years or more, depending on the individual, and especially if it's not properly catered to. Because with a woman who's going through postpartum, and think about it in retrospect, all right, men, we don't really understand it because we can't birth children. But for a woman, she can understand this. You know, you're birthing a child, you're healing, but also not only that, you're losing sleep. You're having to be nurturing to a child 24 hours and you don't get adequate sleep or time to yourself in most cases, especially God forbid, if you have to go back to work after 6 weeks. This pulls on a woman a lot of times where she is now not at her full capacity because of the fact she is no longer able to have time for herself, but now having to nurture and cater to everything, whether if it's just being a provider, having to take care of a child, and not even having time to herself or adequate sleep at that. So a lot of times she may not even be at her full capacity, which can also affect on how she is emotionally and just simply dealing with the process of having a child. See, we grow up, we're now in a day and era where we don't have community. Everyone's being taught to be their own individualism, where it's like women are being taught to be a provider, be boss chicks, and they're losing the familiarity aspect of being a nurturing mother full time because, for one, they may not even be in the position to be able to because they have to still go out and work. But also, two, they're not having that sisterhood support from other women to help and assist with caring for the baby. So if all of this is put on your woman, I'm gonna promise you, she is most likely suffering in silence because of the fact is she is no longer able to be at her full capacity. So prior to having the baby. So as men, we have a tendency to take her emotions as a personal attack because of the fact she is no longer able to be subservient to us and in the past capacity that she was prior to having a kid. And so a lot of times this type of dynamic could either make or break the relationship because of what it was prior to children. And when they say that children changes things, it is truly an understatement. I just want you to bring awareness that if you are having children with your legacy partner, you need to understand that this is the time where you need to reassure her the most. Because whether you believe it or not, she truly is probably suffering in silence because of the fact she's questioning her ability to be a mother, to be a partner to you, and even just her self-worth. All these things are in her head, and you know women, they're constantly verbal. So a lot of times you rest assured she's probably not saying the most positive things that you may want her to be thinking. But this is a time where you would want to reassure her the more and being there in support. And this is, even if it's not even being asked, just be there and take her some time away from that responsibility, because that would give her some time to recuperate and go through the process of being a mother again and a nurturing woman in her familiarity. The thing is, guys, we're in a day and age, like I said, a lot has changed. A lot of the sisterhood is not available. And just as men, we're suffering in silence and 9 times out of 10, the woman just as well, especially when there's not community and support. So if you are someone that is now a new parent, I tell you and encourage you, please get some help. Go find a clinical therapist to help you through this process so you can heal faster than trying to suppress it. Because the more that you suppress this, the more that it will seep through in how you interact with the people you care about. My name is DeQuarius Beverly. Please share this with someone who's a new parent, and I'll see you very soon in the next one. God bless.